The sea was calm, almost unnaturally so. The wind whispered gently through the sails of the ship as it glided through waters no more from mystery and mercy. The sky above held no omen, no storm, only the golden light of the sun, deceiving in its warmth. That Odysseus, the cunning king of Ithaca, knew better than to trust such peace. It had been years since the fall of Troy, years of wandering, war, and loss. His journey home had become a path riddled with divine tests and deadly encounters. Monsters, gods, enchantresses all had tried to bend or break him. Yet none of them, not even the wrath of Poseidon, inspired the quiet dread he now felt as his ship approached a place spoken of in hushed tones by mariners, the island of the Sirens. These were no ordinary creatures. Legend spoke of them as half-woman, half-bird, beautiful yet monstrous beings whose voices could unravel the minds of men. With songs as sweet as honey and words sharper than any blade, the Sirens lured sailors toward rocky shores where their ships shattered, and their bones joined those already bleaching beneath the waves. No one who had ever heard their song had survived. But Odysseus had been warned. On the island of Ea, the sorceress Circe, both lover and guide, had spoken of this peril. Her voice had been stern, edged with rare concern. "You will come to the island of the Sirens," she had told him. "They sit in a meadow strewn with the bones of those they've destroyed. Their song will promise you truth, all knowledge, even that which only the gods possess. But it is death they offer. If you listen, you will perish." And so, when the day came, Odysseus prepared. He gathered his men and gave them a strange but specific order. Each sailor was to take beeswax and mold it into soft plugs. With careful hands, he helped them seal their ears so that no trace of the deadly melody could find them. They looked at him with confusion and trust, for they knew their captain's wisdom had carried them through worse. But Odysseus, he had chosen a different path. 'Tis curiosity, that distinctly human hunger for truth, would not let him pass the Sirens in silence. He needed to hear their song, to know what others had died for, to face the temptation, not avoid it. And so he commanded his crew to bind him to the mast tightly, with ropes strong enough to hold him no matter how he might plead. He warned them in advance. "No matter what I say, no matter how I beg or threaten, do not release me. Tie me tighter. If I struggle, that is your only command." The oars dipped into the water once more. Silence reigned, broken only by the rhythmic splash of rowing and the creak of wood. And then, as they drew near the rocky isle, it began. A voice, no, voices, sweet and smooth as flowing wine, drifted over the waves. At first it was a whisper, barely more than a breeze. But it grew, it swelled with impossible beauty, a harmony of longing and promise. There were no instruments, no chorus, only sound itself, alive and singing to the soul. "Come closer, Odysseus," the Sirens called, "famous son of Laertes, man of many wiles. Stop your shit and listen. For we know you, we know your journey, your grief, your triumphs. We know what you seek, and what you fear. We will sing you the secrets of the gods. All the knowledge that mortal men are denied, we will give freely to you. Stay, and hear all that was, and all that will be." Bound to the mast, Odysseus felt the words wrap around him like silk and steel. His heart thundered in his chest. The melody was not just beautiful, it was true. It pierced his mind, whispered promises he couldn't refuse. His arms strained against the ropes. He shouted, begged his men to free him, swore he would reward them if they turned the ship toward the island. But they could not hear him. With wax in their ears and focus in their eyes, they rowed on, ignoring his frantic struggles. Sweat poured from his brow as his voice cracked with desperation. He cursed, wept, pleaded, but the ropes held, and the ship moved forward. The Sirens' voices rose in one final crescendo, sorrowful and seductive, like the weeping of angels. But when the ship passed beyond the reach of their song, the magic began to fade. Odysseus slumped against the mast, exhausted and trembling. His mind was clouded, his soul shaken, but he was alive. And more importantly, he had endured. The Sirens were silent now, left behind on their lonely shore, their song unanswered, their power broken. In some versions of the tale, it is said that their failure to seduce Odysseus sealed their fate. The gods had cursed them with a cruel rule. If ever a mortal resisted their call, they would be doomed. And so, in despair, they threw themselves into the sea, swallowed by the very waters that had made them legends. The tale of Odysseus and the Sirens is more than a story of survival, it is a mirror held up to the human spirit. The Sirens represent the allure of temptation, the hunger for forbidden knowledge, the dangerous beauty of things we are not meant to possess. Their song is the whisper of addiction, the call of distraction, the seductive voice of shortcuts and secret truths. Odysseus did not silence them, he did not destroy them, he endured them. Bound by his own foresight, he allowed himself to hear what no man should, and through sheer land the loyalty of his crew he survived it. It is a story of discipline over desire, wisdom over impulse, and the price of curiosity. It reminds us that some truths are too costly, some temptations too fatal, and that sometimes strength lies not in resisting the call, but in knowing how to listen, and when to let others steer the ship.